Hey attorneys, it looks like you're looking for a marketing company, and if you're about to hire one, I want to make sure you avoid these 3 mistakes. They can cost you thousands of dollars. So let's take a look at what these mistakes are. So let's go ahead and dive into the 3 mistakes that you want to avoid. So the first one is understanding your goals. Too often attorneys come into a marketing scenario where they get pitched by a company and they haven't really thought their goals out. So I've broken this down into 3 separate scenarios for the firms, for different firm levels that we've seen out there. And the first one is that you are a new firm that need leads now. So you need business coming through your door. Maybe you have some referrals, but you're looking to expand. So as a new attorney, you may not have the budget to invest in some of the longer term marketing initiatives, and that's okay. So you need to be careful when you're picking a service. So the services that you want to focus on, and I'll elaborate more on these in the next slide, is PPC, lead buying, and free listing services. All of these are very fast acting services that require very minimal investment to judge and to see how successful you'll be with them. So that is the first scenario, and that is usually the first level of goals is I need business coming in my door now, or I need my phone to ring. The second scenario for a mid-level firm is you're successful and you're looking to scale and reinvest some of your profits back into your marketing and back into your business. And if you're not already doing it, you could be doing PPC, you could be doing lead buying, and if you're lead buying already, you may want to look at other sources because it's always great to differentiate your marketing and diversify in case one source goes down or something changes, and that way you have a fallback plan. You can also engage in the listing services like Avvo, FindLaw, Justia, those types of services, and you can also sponsor your listing on those services. So if you're doing the free side of things, you could take it one step further and actually start to sponsor it. And then SEO. So I bring SEO into this scenario because you're already somewhat comfortable in your firm, you're making money, you have business coming in that's predictable, and now you can start to plan for the long term and reinvest in your business. So SEO will take 6 months to a year to start getting some results, and it could take longer depending on how competitive your area is and your practice area. So just know what you're getting into when it's SEO. Expect a longer time frame and expect to be in it for the long haul. And then the third scenario is a big firm looking to reinvest more of their money into long-term marketing and find new marketing sources. So you're already doing all of these things we already talked about. So you may want to invest more into SEO. You may try YouTube. You may try Facebook. You might try TV for long-term branding, radio, and streaming because that's becoming more and more popular. So these are the longer-term plays and the more risky plays as I see it for attorneys because again, you're spending more money, you're investing in video, you're investing in TV assets, you're investing in radio commercials. So again, you have to be somewhat large at this point to pay for these initiatives. And these are kind of the timelines for success for these different initiatives. So it's really important to know what to expect when you engage in a service because this will really help your expectations. So for PPC or Google Ads, which is what we primarily do for our customers, this takes about 1 month to start seeing results and start getting business coming in your door. So it's a very fast acting source. So you're able to judge it very quickly. And if the company that you're using is not working out, you're ready to cut it very quickly as well. You don't want to put too much money into a program that is not working. So again, Google Ads works very, very fast. And that's why it's great for new attorneys because you need business now. Same with lead buying. So this is very transactional. You're buying a lead. You're paying, $45 for a lead. They send it to you, and you work enough leads, and you start getting cases. So your timeline for success here is about a month too before you can judge how a lead source is working. Listing services are a little bit harder to measure. I view these as a supplement to your overall marketing plan. You will get business from them, but it's very hard to project how much business. So again, I would do this no matter what you're doing, but it is fast to set up and it will bring you business. Then there's SEO. So SEO is one of those things that we don't even offer to clients unless they're already having success with other marketing channels, they're steady and they're comfortable in their lead flow. And this takes 6 months to a year to start kicking in. And it can take longer, again, depending on how competitive your area is. If you're in Los Angeles or Tampa or Orlando, there are a lot of firms competing in these areas. YouTube is a little bit higher of an investment because you have to produce video. So if you don't have access to a video guy or you can't produce video, then you have to pay someone to do that. And once you have that, I would expect similar results to Google Ads. YouTube is part of Google Ads, so you should get leads in that first month. The only drawback is you have to have video assets. For TV, this is long-term branding, so this is something that you plan to run for years. Same with radio, long-term branding, you should expect your time horizon to be years for this. And once you start, you shouldn't really stop because you're continuing to build that brand. And same with streaming. This is very similar to TV. This is on like Hulu and different platforms like that. Long-term branding, you're looking at years. So when someone is, in that moment of need and they see in your commercial, 100 times, they think of you. So that's kind of the first mistake that we see attorneys making, is they don't really understand the different services and they really don't understand their main goal. So it's really important to match the different services at your disposal to your goal to find the best fit for your firm. So the second mistake that we see is long-term contracts. So be very cautious when engaging in a long-term contract depending on the service. If the service is fast acting like Google Ads or lead buying, then you don't want to sign a 1 to 2 year contract, because if that source is not working, which you should find out in about a month or two, then you don't want to continue paying for it. So it's important to refer to your goals and the different timelines for success before signing a long-term contract. So where it would make sense to sign a slightly longer term contract is if you're doing SEO. We already know that SEO may take 6 months to a year to work. So signing a 6-month contract is not that crazy, because it's going to take 6 months to find out, okay, this is working or this isn't working for me. Maybe you need to hire a different company. So just remember, refer to the timeline of success before you sign a long-term contract. If it's a fast-acting service, you don't need a long-term contract. And the third mistake that we see is make sure you're getting reports from the company you're going to hire on what actually matters. So if they're importing or reporting impressions or clicks or vanity metrics, then that should be a red flag. Make sure that they're somewhat tying their service back to leads or back to sales or back to closing rates, something that you can actually measure and is generating an ROI for you. All right, so here are your next steps. So if you're looking to take your firm's marketing to the next level, go ahead and book a call with me where we could talk about your options and how our program works and if it's a good fit for your firm. And why don't you go ahead and take a look at some of our client success stories for firms just like yours.
Certainly recommend Empirical to other law firms. They know what they're doing. They know law firms. They know what works. They know what doesn't work, and can not only implement paid search, but know how to strategically approach the market and read the results that are coming back so that they can adjust, which is something really important.
So I would definitely recommend Empirical 360. And just last week, after a couple months with Empirical 360, I was able to sign 4 clients in 1 day. For a solo practitioner, that's a big deal. That's a significant increase in volume of business.
I would definitely recommend Empirical to other attorneys, and at any level, whether you're just starting out or you have been in practice for a while. They're very adjustable to different kinds of practices and experience levels and all those kinds of things. I gotta say, my biggest complaint for them is that they give me too many cases. I'm way too busy and got too many cases going on. So good complaint to have for sure.
Absolutely. I would recommend Empirical 360 to anybody who wants to grow their business. Oh my goodness. So the results that we have gotten as a result of doing the Google ads, and we actually didn't even start the Google ads until I think April. So it wasn't even a full year, but we had 120% increase in our revenue, and we were able to bring on an additional person to work with our clients.
Results and experience with Empirical 360 have been really outstanding so far. And again, I would highly recommend that every attorney investigate it and try it.
In sum, I would say that Empirical has become an integral partner to New Leaf family, and has helped this law firm go from zero, literally, to doing quite well in less than a year. Can't recommend them enough.